Thank you for the opportunity, especially Dr. Sundar Rajan, Dr. Rajeshwari Madam, and Madras Library Association and IGCAR Kalpakkam for this opportunity. Uh, my session might not be as technical as Anil's was, but I would try and cover and share information about how ACS, as a publisher, we are trying to support the researchers with the open science and offering key learning platforms and other tools, resources which would help them carry out their day-to-day research activities. So, to start with, what is that we are doing to support open science is what I'm going to touch upon. So, we as a society have turned every stone possible and ensured we support the researchers in every way possible to highlight and showcase their research work in the highest level. And in that endeavor, we've collaborated with institutions, funders, and are coming out with open access modules and uh, other aspects which would help the authors. And we are very proud to say that 9 out of 10 ACS authors get discount of their APC charges. So when we say open access, everybody is worried about who is going to pay for the publishing. So as a society publisher and who we are at the forefront of encouraging the research community, we are offering discounts. Discounts in the sense, in other words, we are paying on behalf of the authors in most of the cases, and we offer member discounts being a society, and also we offer discounts to authors at subscribing institutes. Any researchers from IGCAR who we know we are a lot of authors who are contributing to ACS journals. If they are looking at open access, yes, we can support them in one way or the other. And I'm sure most of the users are already aware that ACS journals publish open access in all of their titles. That is 100% of the ACS titles have open access journals. Moving on, in order to strengthen our support for the open access movement, we came out with a suite of global open access journals, and we call them the ACS Gold, AU. And as you can see, each of the journal, 9 of them as of date, are addressing different areas of research, be it biomedical chemistry, environmental materials, measurement science, nanoscience, organic, inorganic, physical chemistry, polymers, you name it, we are there to support researchers in their open access endeavors. And these are all compliant with the open access requirements. Each journal is led by a respected deputy editor who is a researcher in the field of the scope of the journal. Completely open access. There is no embargo period in any of the titles, and aligns with ACS Publications' long history of supporting open science. And through this slide, we just wanted to highlight that there is an open access AU Gold Journal, ACS Gold Journal for all aspects of chemical sciences, which we stand for. So be it analytical science, biophysical science, climate science, catalysis, chemical biology, environmental science, material science, you name it, we have a journal which covers it under its scope. So for authors who are looking at publishing open science, rest assured with the quality standards which ACS offers, this is a go-to platform. Now, I'd like to move on to the next aspect which ACS as a society is endeavoring. So, being a society with 150 years of history, we have accumulated or amassed a lot of information over the decades. So, we are now, with the help of technology, rebranding it and repackaging it in order so that researchers across the globe can take benefit out of it. One such example is ACS Institute with the tagline Empower, Promote, Enable, and Optimize. So, what is it basically? What is ACS Institute? It's a comprehensive authoritative learning platform which supports broad scientific community across learning for foundational education, expanding career expertise, and professional development. It comprises of 7 ACS centers, which I have listed below, starting from Center for Lab Safety, Chemistry in Practice, Technical Skill Development, Scientific Communication, Professional Development, Leadership Development. And I'm sure the people in the audience would agree that each aspect of it is very relevant and important for researchers at every phase of his career and research journey. So I'll just spend little time on the essentials of lab safety for general chemistry. So every small college, be it R&D lab, a government research institute, or a corporate R&D, it has a chemistry lab. And when there is lab and when you're handling chemicals, there are bound to be accidents. So this ACS Institute course on lab safety gives all the snippets and information which are relevant, which will help the user to learn by practice rather than by having to endure the challenges. So you would know what are the SOPs to be followed, you know what are the pitfalls to be avoided, and this content is developed by people who are practicing researchers in their respective fields and domains. So that's one aspect of it. And as it mentions, it exposes students for critical concepts of chemical safety, solid learning experience for integrated chemical safety in general chemistry labs, and authoritative and easily adaptable resource for use across general chemistry courses, even for academic institutions. And obviously, it teaches you the tips of recognize, assess, minimize, and prepare. I'm sure practicing chemists would recognize this terminology, RAMP. So this is the flow of the event. It has different modules which can be picked up at the requirement and use, and it will be very useful for students especially, and also first time researchers, or if you are new hires to an organization or new entrants to a lab. I'll move on to the third and the final aspect of it, ACS in focus. As the title suggests, this basically talks about the subject areas which are capturing the attention of the current day's researchers. But as the word research goes, it is knowing everything about a particular topic around it. So, and none of us are masters, but we tend to move towards that. So ACS in Focus is a ebook collection on various topics which help specialists in one particular domain to get the basic understanding of the parallel or the related subject areas, so that they can continue their research in multidisciplinary areas as well. These are simple books which about 4 to 6 hours reading, that is if you sit in one sitting, and it's not highly technical, very layman terms, easy to understand, but would give you the basic understanding of that new concepts which you would want to learn quickly. And it covers all the emerging topics as I mentioned. And as researchers and scientists, you're working in a particular area, but you need to build expertise in a relevant area. So these resources might come in pretty handy for such users. So here are some of the titles which are already published and are available. And I would like to mention that all these are available for perpetual access. And you can also, few of the titles are available for individual use as well, if you're not attached to any university or a organization. So it's perpetual access. One time you can purchase it and use it on your handheld devices anywhere, anytime stuff. And these are all DRM protected, by the way, so there's no scope of it going out and being misused, but it'll be very relevant for your researchers when they need the information at the tip of the finger. Yep, that was a very quick turnabout on what ACS is doing new in this area. And I would once again like to thank Dr. Soundararajan, Dr. Rajeshwari Madam, and Madras Library Association for giving us the opportunity to interact with the delegates and participants through the Readit conference. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Sujan, for your very quick presentation, in fact, crisp presentation. And in fact, you covered the various aspects of your ACS Publications, of course. We also thought we'll have a presentation from chemical abstracts that is CAS. Okay, no problem. So we just listen from you. So you mentioned about ebooks, no?
Yes, sir.
So still there is always like the pick and choose model is what we are always looking for, or there is also other emerging concept like trial and use. So is there? Do you have any hint for it?
Absolutely, sir. In fact, like you rightly pointed out, we go by what our customers demand. So we have options wherein we have both the pick and choose model, and we have even the try and use model, but we call it in a different term. We call it evidence-based acquisition. So basically,
Evidence based. This is what, yeah, as you mentioned, right?
yes,
This is like you give us some period, and at the end of the period, whatever we used, this is based on the evidence. Do you have that model with you?
yes, sir, we do have that, and so the period we provide is 1 year. So we open up the access for all the ebooks which ACS has, which is not a very big collection compared to other publishers. It's about 1,800 titles. You can access all the 1,800 titles for a period of 12 months, and then at the end of 12 months, either you can pick up the titles of your choice and own them perpetually, or based on the usage of those titles, we can give you access to those titles for